Life's a party, life's always a party. Let's go.
Yo, what's going on, baby? How we doing out there?
Ready? Wait for it.
Woo! It's a
Cracking a coldie. Cracking a White Claw for the show today.
A White Claw?
You know why I'm cracking a coldie for this show?
Why? What's up?
Because people have been on our ass, Paul, about Life's a Party. Not our product or our content overall, but we have a high standard for us having to be the life of the party now.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I agree to that.
Let me explain this to you. So I'm starting to notice as we continue to get a lot of followers and people are starting to listen and we're doing well for ourselves, thanks to everyone listening and our fans at home. When I'm at a party and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to sit out the shotgun, all right? I'm not going to, that's rare for me, but I'm going to sit out the shotgun. You know what, I'm going to go home a little earlier tonight. Not feeling myself. And on my way out to say goodbye with my friend, oh, life's a party. Whoa, like, you're not Life's a Party anymore.
They're calling you out.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, what happened to Life's a Party, Paul? I thought your Life's a Party.
Yeah, they're
Like,
calling
what
you
happened?
out.
They're calling me out. So now I got to like live up to Life's a Party at all times. They're keeping us on our toes.
They are? I agree. Okay, I like that. At least,
Have you gotten that? Where people are like, oh, well, Life's a Party.
Oh,
you're not going to chug this? Life's a Party.
I feel like I did months ago. Maybe like one or two people said something. But recently, no. You know, I've been up on my game. I've been okay. But I think that's funny. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's like people are on my ass about, like, if I'm ever turned down at any point, they go, oh, what happened to Life's a Party? I thought that's why you, like, what's in your blood? Life's a Party.
I thought that's the motto. You know what I mean? That's your life, baby, right there.
I know we're starting off with some Marvel talk. Is it Marvel? Justice League Marvel?
No, dude.
Okay, this is where I wanted to bring this up.
Okay.
I usually don't bring up, well, I don't know, what is it then?
It's DC.
All right, so I usually don't bring up the Marvel or DC, but I sat down with a buddy of mine over the weekend, and I saw that this Justice League movie came out.
Yep.
And he's like, you want to know something cool? Is that the director had to step away from the original movie, and he stopped directing it halfway through. And a new director came into place as like a substitute.
Correct.
And the movie was a flop. And then so there's this new Justice League that just got released. Paul's gonna explain it, but I'm like taking a test right now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Paul's gonna grade me on how much I know, like based off this whole story. So since he didn't finish the cut, they came out with a new Justice League called an editor's cut. And did he pick up where he left off last time, or did he remake the same movie? Like, I'm a little confused.
So this is actually
Please clarify for me, Paul.
This is really cool, and this is like monumental in Hollywood. This has never really happened before, so that's why it's a big deal. And basically, Warner Brothers, who is owned by, or like, you know, Warner Brothers, who's
owned by the Warner Brothers.
Yes.
Are they actually?
No.
Oh, shit.
Has like HBO Max and all that stuff, right? So in 2017, the Warner Brothers came out with Justice League, and that's all your characters from DC Comics and your main superhero team that's been super famous, you know, for 50, 60 years, right? And that's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash, like that's your main team. And the Avengers, you know, from Marvel,
It's a pretty good team.
are their contrast, and Marvel has done really good in the movies. Well, unfortunately, DC and like Warner Brothers have kind of fell behind. Well, DC, you know, kind of rushed their product, and Justice League came out in 2017, and it was a flop. It was, as Ryan said, it was directed by Zack Snyder, who did a bunch of other comic book movies, did like Batman vs. Superman.
But it was half directed by... Oh, wait, Zack Snyder's the guy?
Yeah, so Zack Snyder directed the film.
Gotcha.
But what happened is halfway through, as Ryan said, like halfway through the film and making of the process, something tragically happened with his family. And it just happened with his daughter, so he did have to step back. Then what actually happened was the director of the first Avengers films, Joss Whedon, they like hired him and he came in, which you think would make sense, right? And you're like, that's kind of weird because he did do the Avengers film. And he was like swapping teams and whatever. It was kind of weird. Well, he didn't do that great of a job. It flopped at the box office. People said, you know, this isn't Zack Snyder's original version and like all this stuff. 2-3 years later, I mean, there's been this buildup of this process of people being like, no, like let's see Zack Snyder's original version. Like let him finish his film that he wanted to do.
Because the other one was shit.
Exactly. So after all this backing from the stars of the film and the fans of DC and all this stuff, we're like, okay, let's do it. And with HBO Max launching and trying to compete with Disney and Netflix and stuff, they needed more content. So they said, okay, like let's get behind this. Like let's put some money into it. Zack will come back.
Zack is back.
Zack
Zack Attack is back.
Exactly, right? I love this. And it's just really interesting and cool. But he came back. Only about 10% of the stuff that he shot was in the theatrical release version. So he came back, used a bunch of his footage. They did some like reshoots and brought some of the actors back and whatever. So this is a new version of the Justice League.
Same storyline, right?
No, totally different.
I thought it was the same storyline.
No, that's the whole thing. Like, the studio kind of took charge and they kind of like butchered the original version. So he went in, he had full creative control. He had his script. They reshot some stuff. They add some different actors, and it was just a really cool thing. And it's 4 hours long.
Oh, that's not a one sitting. That's like a 3 sitting go.
It's a long movie, but I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. I've been trying to see it this week, but as you said, it's a long, so you have to like process it. When do I have the time to fully sit through this?
That's like The Irishman. I watched that in like 3 sittings. Good movie. Oh, but here's the thing: like, if I'm the guy who subbed in to finish the film, I'm feeling pretty shitty about myself right now.
Well, the thing is, like
I fucked up.
He did. But he had some wins though. Like, he did have some wins. He did create the first Avengers film.
Wins and losses, that's what it is.
He made the second Avengers
Foreshadow.
film. He was good. So it was cool to have a director get his original vision and like have Zack. So it's called Zack Snyder's Justice League. So it's
like editor's cut,
and it's his director's cut. Yeah,
dude, I feel bad for the other guy.
Yeah, but it's monumental in film. It's interesting. I'm curious to see what Warner Brothers will do with it, depending on how good it does on HBO Max. Are they going to make a Justice League sequel? They've kind of been talking about that. So
is it more monumental than LeBron's head that's in front of us?
Yeah, dude, LeBron. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube. We love when people watch on YouTube.
LeBron James.
Obviously you don't have to. We got a new Pop Funko addition to the set here.
Big boy.
And
the King James.
The King. He's like, I don't know, 5 times bigger?
Dude, he's ginormous.
Than our original Pop Funkos. So check him out if you're watching on YouTube. If not, we'll post a picture. Go on our Instagram. Go check it out.
All right, let's get into the show, Paul. Another great show. We always have great shows.
Always great shows, baby. We just love being here. We love talking. We talked about it before the show, how much we like our show and just like see our progress.
We're our number one fans. You have to be your own number one fan.
Dude, you're only going to advocate. The only person advocating for you is yourself. So it's like, if you want something in life, go get it. Do your thing, right?
All right, so these people who are saying that we don't live up to life's a party, well, we're going to start the segment with life's always a party, right? So let's start the show with a drinking segment. So Paul and I are going to go down a list of some party slang and give our perspective on what that slang means. Have we ever heard it? And so on. So let's get started, and we're going to start off with probably the biggest debate in party slang. It is, what is day drinking called, Paul? Is it called dage? Is it called darty? Is it called dager? Is it called day long? What is day drinking called?
I've never heard the word day long. What? Who calls a day drinking party day long? Honestly, to me, a day drinking party is always called a dage. You're going out, you're day drinking, dage. Simple as that.
I like the dage. I'm team dage. Is it D-A-Y-G? E, or is it D-A? I spell it D-A-G-E.
That's how I spell it, dage. But a lot of things I've heard.
The shorter the word, it's easier to write out when you're hammered. So
yeah, exactly.
When you should just do away with the Y.
When you're messed up, why need the Y? You know what I mean?
I hate darty with a passion. I really hate darty. It makes me think of like darts.
Yeah, it doesn't really think.
And farty. Like darty, farty. Like that. I don't like that. Who likes that? I don't like that.
It doesn't really seem.
LeBron, you like that? I mean, your head's big enough to be on the show, so you might as well say something while you're here.
It doesn't really like scream drinking to me. I know. So the main difference, if you're not aware of the terms, dage is really more of like a north, like kind of word, right? So it's like dage, like northeast day party. But like darty, I've heard more is from the South schools and like the college life.
Let's go darty it up. Or no, it's not. That's used wrong. It's a darty.
It's a darty. Like in Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, like Georgia, like all of those, it's more of a darty. Where Northeast, like Rutgers, Rowan, up here, like where I went to school in North Jersey, it was always dage.
Then dager, like I feel like that's like the Four Loko girls.
Yes.
Like Four Loko girls say dager. Like it's day drinking and you're a rager. Like they're raging.
Yeah, it's a day rage, right? So
that's like you want to do a sidewalk slammer. What is a sidewalk slammer?
What?
Never heard of Sidewalk Slammer?
I have not. No, what is it?
I wish I could tell you, but
you don't know
the
either?
whole premise of it is I think like there's a 40 is involved at some point. And you drink it, and then the whole point of it is that it's like a sidewalk slammer, and you slam your head on the sidewalk, and then it's night-night.
I saw this thing on TikTok. I thought of
Sounds like a good time.
I thought of our buddy Sean, and I think it could be a fun segment for our show. Have you ever heard of the 40 and 40?
40 Edward Scissorhand?
No, so like you chug a 40 and then you have to run a 40-yard dash.
Oh, that's not good.
So like you and me.
No, here's my thing. Like, that's funny. But here's my thing is, like, I don't think that really affects the 40-yard dash. I feel like you would have to
Run farther?
Yeah.
You need like at least a lap.
Because, like, you know how they do, like, the slip and slide flip cup games?
Yeah.
Like, the whole point of it, like, is, like, if everyone's really hammered and everybody's slipping around, and, like, that makes it more fun. But with the little amount you put in a cup, it really doesn't put an effect on, like, the drinking really isn't that much of a factor in the game.
It's not that. Yeah, agreed.
And then the one last thing on this one is, you said you heard of this word before. It's called a snage.
I love a snage. Good snage, baby.
It's a party that takes place during a snowstorm, a snage.
A snage. So, like, you take the words dage and then snow. So it's like a snow, day, rage, a snage.
I hate that.
I
might hate that worse than darty.
But I love a snage. A good old snage.
I love a snage.
I've only been to a few. Obviously, what's cool about it is it's rare, right?
I've never been to any because I don't go to anything that's called a snage. I drink when it snows. What is there another word for that?
A snage.
No, another word. I'm not using snage.
Snage, baby. But basically what it is
It's
like...
a snow day.
Right? Yeah, it's a snow day. So
With a
instead
lot of alcohol.
Agreed. That's what we're doing. We're trying to get drunk, man. It's snowing outside.
Go ahead. Explain your snage and why you love it so much.
I love it so much. So like a spring day, right? So you're at college, right? And you got a nice day out, and the fraternity, sorority girls get together, party. Maybe the athletic teams get together, and they say, "Hey, we're gonna drink during the day," right? So like a dage. But in the winter, you're like, everyone's kind of like down, and it's cold out and whatever, right? But then the school. The snow storms, the school cancels school for the day, and you're like, all right, we're all free. We're all college kids, free for the day. Let's go get drunk. You put on a nice coat, get some mittens, a hat. It's snowing. Go out in the backyard, go get drunk, have yourself a day. A snage.
We'll do everything but the end snage part.
Snage.
One last thing on this topic before we move to our next one. I'm gonna bail my little brother out to my mom, so I hope my mom's probably gonna listen to this, so. My little brother Kyle, I'm sorry for bailing you out on this, but it's entertainment. I mean, things have to be addressed when there's entertainment. Thus, I have to bail you out. Not bail you out. Throw you under the bus.
Exposed.
I got to expose you. So they were doing a snage, and they tied a sled on the back of a pickup truck.
I saw this.
You saw him doing it?
Yeah, I did.
This dude was like chugging on like one of those winter snowboard like saucers. They tied a rope to the end of a pickup truck and were just beelining it down the side roads, just chugging while on the saucer.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
It's like you're, like you're on a boat, right? And you're like water skiing, right? But instead, you're on the road, pickup truck, not a boat, and you're just drinking, having a good time.
You're just snaging your life away at that point. I mean, it's not safe, so.
I did that.
We gotta put like a little disclaimer at the bottom. Please do not do this at home.
That's what TikTok would do if we like. You ever see those TikTok? It's like, please, this act might injure or hurt you. It's like, okay.
All right, next one is Silly Week. And this is just the infamous syllabus week. And this is a great week because most teachers don't start their work. You literally go into class, all the good teachers. Yes, this separates the good from the bad. The good teachers come in, you grab your syllabus, go over it for 15 minutes, go home and go crush a 30-pack.
And get the hell out of there.
So are you a big fan of syllabus week, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, in college, syllabus week is the best thing because that's honestly, you go back to school, right? You get to see all your friends at college again that you haven't seen in the summer. You go to class for a little bit. Classes, weather's still great out. You hang around the quad. Later in the night, you might go to the fraternity house. Go to the Dage.
Maybe go to the Snage later if there's a chance of... has there ever been a Dage and a Snage in the same day? Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, weather, hopefully, it's not that crazy where you live. But it's a good, silly week.
That would be bipolar. That's definitely global warming.
That's definitely bipolar. That's like two... But Silly Week is a good time to, get back with your friends, get drunk, enjoy coming back to school, and it's a good time.
There's always teachers that are the buzzkill, though. They'll be like, we're going to start chapter 1 today. Like, no, we're not, bitch. Like, close the book. We're not doing that. I got the Natty Light looking me in the eye.
I got a kegger going home. We got to get the hell out of here.
We ain't starting no fucking chapter 1. Get out of here. All right, what's the next one, Paul?
Next one here, I told Ryan, I got a great story. But this is called The Fracket.
It's called The Fracket? What is this, a novel?
A fracket. So,
The Fracket.
Do you know what a fracket is?
It's a little bit. Is it like a jacket?
So I learned about this my freshman year in college, and I learned about this because I had an unfortunate event.
You had an unfortunate event with the jacket.
Yes. But
this should be interesting.
A fracket is basically, it's a jacket that you don't care about. A lot of times girls will use this when they go to a fraternity party in college, right? So if it's cold out and you need to leave, girls, depending on how you dress.
Like a jean jacket?
It can be.
I feel like a fracket number one is like a jean jacket.
It all depends on, it's really just a cheap jacket. Like, it's a jacket that if you leave it at the fraternity house, if someone steals it, maybe you bring it to a bar and you get too smacked up and you forget to, you left it there, or someone steals it. As I said, you don't care about it because it's a fracket.
So it's almost like a poncho, almost.
Yeah.
So this frat house is gonna get wild. People may throw up on me. Some people might get beer on me.
Yeah.
Let me put on the fracket, a.k.a. the poncho. And if something happens to it, something happens to it. It's like my layer of protection is this fracket. Now, girls, I could imagine, are really attached to the fracket. I feel like there's some Four Loko girls out there who have had some memorable nights in a fracket and would put it into a museum. I've had all these good nights, put in a nice little shadow box frame.
It has all the memories.
That was my fracket at East Carolina University. You know how many frat parties I wore that fracket at?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's some Four Loko girls out there that are pretty nuts. I mean, all of them are nuts. But they would go back. You think they would go back to get their fracket?
No.
Because of all the good times they've had?
I mean, that defeats the purpose of the fracket, that you don't care about it.
Yeah,
you let
but
it go.
what if it's a good fracket?
I agree. Maybe.
What if you had so many good times in the fracket, you have to go get that?
Maybe.
I guess that does really defeat the purpose.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Here's my story. So I didn't know about this, right? And I had a jacket that I really liked.
Was it a fracket?
No. Unfortunately, it was not.
Unfortunately.
But this is where
this one's going.
This is where I learned that you need a fracket. But when I was a freshman in college, I visited my friend up at her school in New York, and a bunch of us went out, had a party. I liked this jacket a lot. It was a really nice jacket. I think it was from Abercrombie and Fitch back in the day when we used to shop there.
I haven't fit in that store since 6th grade.
Exactly, right? And it was just this really nice green jacket that I loved. And, we went out. It was a little colder. And I was like, okay, so I brought it, went out, and I've never been in this fraternity house, whatever. And my friend goes, oh, just leave it. We'll leave it behind the washer.
Oh, no.
And maybe, nobody will take it. We'll leave it there. So I left it there. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Oh, no.
I ended up getting trashed that night. We end up, remembering to grab it. Thank God somebody remembered to grab it. Was not there. Oh. I was so mad. Someone stole my nice jacket. And I was like, okay. So from now on, I learned that the girls were like, you can't bring your nice jacket because God forbid someone steals it. So you bring your fracket, your frat jacket, and that's where that term is. And then it's like, okay.
Dude, that's low-key pretty awesome, though. Now that I'm thinking about it, I know you're not going to be happy about it because it was a jacket you once loved. But this is where I'm so creative in my mind, Paul. I'm really such a creative thinker.
What do you got?
So have you seen the Sisterhood of Traveling Pants?
Yes.
This is the brotherhood of the traveling fracket. Someone picked up your fracket from behind the thing, wore it home, then they're going to wear it to the next frat party.
It's their
lose
fracket.
The fracket. It's their fracket. They're going to lose it next. Oh, shit, I lost my fracket. Someone else picks up the fracket. They wear it out. It's the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Okay.
But it's the brotherhood of Paulie's fracket.
Okay. Now
is it a beautiful story now?
Yeah, I lost it, and it was unfortunate to me, but now it had a good life living as a fracket.
It's still out there. It's still a fracket. The show goes on.
The show goes on.
All right, what's the next one? Oh, I got the next one.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, so this is a little it's a little dicey, okay? This one's actually a crime, okay? So don't try us at home. We might have to pop that disclaimer up again. But it's called the quarterback sneak, which you will get arrested for, Paul, if you try the quarterback sneak.
It's not always the worst thing to get arrested, I guess.
So the definition of this thing is what?
Depends on...
I'm not going to fly over that one.
Life's a party. I mean, if you're having a good time,
we got to live up to our name, Paul. I mean, we got to live up to our name. So
exactly.
We might have... I'm not going to say... Okay. So the quarterback sneak is the act of dropping a quarter bar of Xanax in a friend's drink to get this quote... This is what, to quote, ensure that they have the best night possible.
Are you... Wait, so... So you're dropping Xanax in my drink and I don't know about it?
Yeah, but what they're saying is that's a good deed you're doing because you're giving them the best night possible.
You think it's a good deed. I don't know if the person drinking the drink thinks it's a great deed.
That's why I said, in quote, ensure that they have the best night possible.
I don't know if we should be telling people drop drugs in your friend's drink.
Well, that's why I said this is a questionable and you will go to jail if you do this.
Okay.
You're the one that said you were going to do it before I said the definition. You said I'm gonna do this because I'm life's a party.
I don't know if I said that. Roll back the tape.
I don't think you did say that.
Roll back the tape.
Don't do the quarterback sneak. I don't even know what a bar of Xanax is.
A bar?
What is a bar? Like when I think of a bar, I think of like a cocaine bar thing.
Oh, I don't know. Probably just like a pill of Xanax, right?
What the hell's a bar? Like a candy bar? Okay.
I don't think Xanax. I don't know.
Let's not stay on this one. We're gonna move past the quarterback sneak, get the first down, and go to the next one. Look at that.
There you go. Next one we got here.
There you go.
There you go, baby.
Why you almost poked me in the eye?
Life is a good time. Life's a party.
All right, what's the next one?
Next one we got here is ABC Party.
Oh,
Have you ever been to an That's the Jackson 5 ABC 1 2 3.
I just yell out shit sometimes. Michael Jackson.
Have you ever been to an ABC party, Ryan?
I haven't, and I think it might be because of like my body type is not good for an ABC party.
An ABC party is anything but clothes. So
I feel like you have to be fit. You got to be fit to go to an ABC party. Explain to them at home who don't know who an ABC party is.
You use anything but clothes. That's the whole point. So people might use like a trash bag, or they'll get like
that's not stylish. Or the caution tape, I've heard.
Yeah, caution tape, toilet paper, maybe like a White Claw box. They have a bunch of White Claw boxes they cut up, tape them together, and use it as like a top or like a bottom skirt.
Now, do people wear clothes underneath?
Yeah, of course. You wear.
Well, then that defeats the purpose of an ABC party.
Well, that's just the fun. You know what I mean? Because God forbid,
it should be ABCOT. Anything but clothes on top.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not as catchy. It's definitely not as catchy, but ABC parties are fun. I only did like one? Yeah, I've only done one. We only did one.
What'd you wear? What were you? It's like the red carpet. What are you wearing?
I think it was a trash bag.
That's lame.
Well, that works.
Like a black trash bag.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't a white one.
No, white trash, baby.
Well, I was gonna say the see-through factor.
Oh yeah.
White trash.
White trash. That's me. You know that.
You think so highly of yourself, Paul. LeBron James. LeBron's our cool guy.
All
right, next one. I've never heard this one. This one is just hilarious because it's so freaking dumb. It's Dmfo. You ever hear of it, Paul?
I've never heard of this, actually.
It stands for Dance Floor Makeout.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing is, I've been to my couple fair share of frat parties. I've never worn a fracket, though. But I do cringe when I see, like, guys and girls make out on the dance floor. Because I've seen girls and guys make out with a girl. 3 songs later, they're making out with someone else.
Yeah.
There might be some diseases in that exchange. It's really hot, sweaty. It's just like, it's weird vibes for me.
I mean, sometimes that's like people's go-to. Like, that's what they like. I know freshman year of college, I went out. I was a freshman at Virginia Tech, and I remember kind of I went to a few fraternity parties the first, like, couple weeks. That's like rush week and stuff. So they all have these open parties. And you go, and that's literally anything, like all what freshmen want to do. They want to go to a frat party. They usually find someone, they'll make out, and then never talk to that person again. That's just what they want. Do you.
Here's my thing. Like, when I was single back in the Ice Age,
the
Ice Age thing, I was, like, scared to get with girls because I was a picky eater, and I was always scared of what they ate before I would make out with them. And no, like, I'm, like not even messing around.
That's crazy.
I was genuinely, like, if I were to get with a girl, I'd be scared that she had cheese doodles before I would get with her. No, I'm, like, dead ass. Like, I was even worse of a picky eater, and if you haven't seen the episode, me and Paul go down like a picky eater test in one of our episodes prior to this one, and we're picky as hell. And like that was a major factor in me wanting to get with a girl. It's like I don't know what she like. What if she had like a tuna sandwich before she came here?
That's a reasonable.
And then you're on the dance floor making out with her, and then like what did they eat? Did they brush their teeth? Like it's something genuinely that I thought of when I was like single.
Yeah, dance floor makeouts in college are very. It just happen all the time. Like I remember. I was a fraternity brother. And I never really did this. I wasn't like that kind of person who said, okay, like, you find a girl. It's like weird too. Like it's kind of weird to me, but I know a lot of my fraternity brothers would do it. I remember when I was at Virginia Tech, it was like everyone was doing it. And then you might make out with someone, a girl, you go to the bathroom, and as Ryan said, you come back 10 minutes later, she's with someone else. Yeah. And that's just kind of what college was. And I think still is really. But
I got 2 more things on this thing.
If you like that, then do it.
I got 2 more things. One on the makeout, one on the dancing. Okay. So we'll go to the makeout first. Another thing I always think about is that when people like make out on the dance floor, what if the one person is allergic to peanut butter, and the person had peanut butter before they ate, and you drop dead on the frat dance floor because you didn't know the person you just made out with had peanut butter for lunch.
That's a bad situation.
You never thought of that?
I've never thought about, but that's actually really interesting.
Yeah, I'm like always like, if I was allergic to peanut butter, I definitely wouldn't be hooking up with people at these frat parties.
1 minute you're fist pumping, the other minute
EpiPen. You're jabbing the EpiPen in one moment.
Yeah.
Like, is the kiss worth an EpiPen?
I don't think so.
And then last part on this, we need to bring back the oldies like dance floor. Like all these like frat parties. I mean, we graduated like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago from college. So like the whole humping thing is like no one dances nowadays. I mean, we both can hold our own in dancing, but it's more like they hump each other, and it's like not dancing. It's like, how is that fun? It's like almost having sex with clothes on.
So
we got to get back to the old disco days and actually like create some separation. I know there's not a lot of space, but actually like dance to the music.
So here's my little take on that. I know, especially with like a frat party, there's a lot of that, as Ryan said.
Well, at concerts too, even older people, concerts, they do the same thing.
They're like grinding on each other. There's no space, but it is usually tightly packed. But I know, usually, depending on how good your DJ is, right? You got to have a good DJ. They'll throw in some like white girl jams in there, and that's your like Ocean Avenue and your Build Me Up Buttercup and like those older songs, right? And that's when everyone kind of separates. You have your go-to moment, you have fun, and then you go back to the grinding.
What was that club back in the day in New York? Not disco. I watched a documentary on it. It's not Area 51. That's the alien. It's Area something. It's in New York, and they had like a dance club, and it was actually like where they had cocaine, and there was like a big thing.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it after the show. It's a pretty interesting documentary, but we gotta get back to the dancing normal like the old days. You know what I'm saying? All right. So what's our next one, Paul?
Our next thing we want to talk about is
always do that.
I'm looking at you, camera. Next thing we want to talk about is the highlight party.
The highlight party.
The highlighter
Why
party.
Why do you keep adding "the" in front of these?
So honestly, now I'm thinking about it, but we could honestly do a full segment about frat theme parties. And I think this would actually be really fun. But another thing, just like the ABC party, is a highlighter party. So sometimes when you're doing smaller fraternity parties, usually mixers, so you're taking one fraternity and one sorority, and you're just having like a fun day. It just might be on like a Tuesday or a Thursday or whatever.
Whoa, you got to study for class, Paul.
No.
You got tests.
Okay, how many people in college actually studied? I think
I did.
You rather drink.
Well, you did both at the same time.
That's what college is all about. It's realizing how much you can drink without being functional in your class.
You hear that, parents? You hear this? All right, but you've been to a highlighter party.
Highlighter party.
So what do you dress in? What, neon lights or not neon? Neon lights.
A highlighter party.
You dress in neon lights.
Yeah, usually it's like neon or like white. Like you'll do all white.
And everybody gets like a Sharpie or what? Everybody gets a highlighter, and you walk around and just draw on people.
I've
never been to one. You've been to one.
I've never.
Oh, no, wait, you never been to one. You said
never really done like a highlight thing. Like,
well, what's the point of the highlighter? Oh, it's just
like
that
colors.
People glow up.
It's just colors. Usually,
I'm pretty sure there's highlighter parties where people draw on them, and then it's a blacklight party. They bring like a white thing and they draw on people's arms and their skin, and then it lights up in the darkness.
Okay, like a highlighter.
Maybe we'll have a Life's a Party or a highlighter party when we hit 100K followers on TikTok.
We'll definitely do a cool themed party when we do our 100,000 follower party. If you want to get in, let me know. Send us a DM.
LeBron will be there.
Send us a DM, and when we hit that 100,000 on TikTok, we'll do a theme party.
Party time. All right, what's our next block? Moving through this show, moving and grooving. LeBron, what's next block, LeBron? LeBron,
Ryan can't get over that. His big
well,
LeBron.
His head is ginormous. I literally can't stop looking at it.
Definitely check him out if you're not on YouTube.
His hairline's a lot better on here than it is in real life. I'll tell you that.
Our next block here, we want to talk about Blockbuster. So
block squared. Block 2, Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. I was a real big fan of Blockbuster back in the day. Kevin Smith, he's like a comic book guy. He's doing a documentary on Blockbuster coming out, ironically, on Netflix. And
that's funny as hell.
In like a week or two. So I thought it'd be cool to talk about Blockbuster and just how much I loved it. Like, and just what it did for movies.
It truly, I talk about it all the time. He's like, how much I truly miss Blockbuster. Like, you know how you go like, oh, let's go to the movies tonight, or it's like, let's go get ice cream tonight. It was like, let's go get Blockbuster. Let's go to Blockbuster tonight. Like, you go. It's just one of those times where like, you don't know what to do on a Friday night, so you get whoever you're with, your family or whatever, and you go to Blockbuster and you literally spend an hour and a half, 2 hours walking around the whole entire store, looking at the whole walls, pick out 2 movies, get some candy, get some popcorn, bring it home, and you watch 2 movies that night. And I truly miss Blockbuster. It's one of those things where it's like, we need that back.
Blockbuster is one of the most nostalgic things I think we can think of from at least our childhood and like our generation. And Blockbuster, what I think is really interesting, especially as we get older and more into like the stock market and into like businesses and learning about businesses and like, what makes a business go under and like what makes a business like be successful. Blockbuster was literally killing the game.
It was like out of their control how they got shut down, which is unfortunate.
So I do want to talk about that, where like that idea of
it was not out of their control.
You
think it was in there? Oh,
yeah.
Here's my little theory on what you're about to say. Can I have a prediction?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you about to say Blockbuster should have shifted gears into becoming a streaming platform?
So yes, they should have, right?
Okay, I was just guessing.
So what happened was Blockbuster, huge, right? Video store, like the expansion of a Blockbuster was absolutely insane.
They had video games.
Yeah, they had movies, video games, like insane. And as Ryan said, it was just like a nostalgic thing where I loved to go to Blockbuster as like a kid. And when you went to Blockbuster, you were there for a while. Like it was not
an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours. You're there for a long ass time.
It was not a short trip. It was like a fun thing you would do with your family.
And we have brothers and sisters, so it'd be like we all couldn't pick 2. Like we had to agree, and then there was fights in Blockbuster. I think actually one time me and my brother actually started rolling down one of the lanes because we weren't picking the right movie we wanted to watch.
And it was just like a really like family experience. Like I think of it as like it's just a cool.
It's like a bonding experience. It's like we want comedy tonight. We want action tonight. We like this actor, this act. It's more so the moment and the hobby of going to Blockbuster and experiencing that moment with your family rather than actually going home and watching the movie.
Like that's what made it nostalgic, right?
And the best was like you had to make sure you returned it in a certain time span.
The late fees is what killed you.
It's like, oh, who's returned? Oh my God, return is the Blockbuster tonight.
It's like the movie was $4 for 2 days or maybe in a 7-day rental. I think that's insane now to think about that you could keep that movie for a week.
No, we got it. I mean, my mom would never pay for the extra 5 days. It'd be the 2-day rental. We'd watch it that night.
But you're buying a movie for or you're renting it for $4, right? And then the late fee would be like $2 if you don't turn it back in the day. It's like, this is ridiculous.
And then they would release the new movies and everybody was excited about it. And you get there and then what? Sold out. And then they would actually sell out and you wouldn't be able to see the new movies. Like, I gotta get back here tomorrow and check.
And then you put yourself on like a waiting list.
Dude, it literally, like now just reminiscing and talking about it, it really is one of the best like things of our lives.
So I'm curious.
Let's not get carried away there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Think of the childhood.
Blockbuster was a shit.
But here, so Ryan, so kind of what took Blockbuster like out of like contention and kind of made it go bankrupt and under? Because it was growing, it was ridiculously growing, and most people know the streaming platform and the world of like how we view media and movies really changed from like a physical thing when you went to Blockbuster, you rented the actual tape to a digital thing, right? Mm-hmm. Where the way the transition worked was Netflix came out first, and Netflix was a DVD to home like shipping company. So it says, hey, the new movie came out, right? So let's talk like Dodgeball.
Did Redbox come out before Netflix?
After.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Redbox, see, like Redbox is in there too. But Netflix said, hey, like say you wanted to watch the new release of like Dodgeball. So Dodgeball came out and you said, hey, you would go online to Netflix, you would have like an account, and then you would like rent it. And basically within like 2 days or 3 days, Netflix would send you the DVD through the mail. You would take it and then play it and then you would send it back. And that's kind of how that worked, right? And that was how Netflix became like started. And then Netflix also had a streaming service, which was the first of its kind and kind of like was like an on-demand and had some limited releases and like limited movies. And it was just pretty cool because, you could watch it in your home for the first time, like right then and there. And then Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix for $50 million.
And they
said no.
They didn't do it.
And like $50
I think
million,
that is like one of the biggest business mistakes ever made. Like when I see lists of like all the missed opportunities, it was like Blockbuster's up there in missed opportunities and selling their business. It's like one of the biggest blunders of all time.
So what they could have did, right?
Is blunder even a word?
Yeah, blunder.
Blunder.
What they could have did was buy Netflix for $50 million and used it and like change it to Blockbuster, use the software and the infrastructure and kind of like did Blockbuster mail to home, right? And then took over that streaming platform. And imagine instead of Netflix now, it'd be like, oh, I'm going to watch that on Blockbuster. Like, so interesting. And I think that would have been the perfect transition. But they said no. Netflix took them out. You know, Redbox happened, as you said.
Do you think it was like they couldn't swallow their pride?
I don't know. I think it was
really
just
rare to see someone so powerful and so successful like Blockbuster to go bankrupt. And they're nothing. They didn't sell anything. They're not partnered with anybody. They're literally nothing. I think I saw there's like one Blockbuster left in the entire world.
There's one Blockbuster. It's like because Blockbuster was a franchise that they could kind of choose when to go under. And I think it's in Alaska or Oregon. It's up there. And the only reason it's successful is that because it's just like, you know, nostalgic. And that town like really loves it. The woman who owns it is really, you know, into owning it. She wants it to be the last Blockbuster. Like, she doesn't want her business to go under. And what she does is she said, I watched like this little YouTube video about it. And she, you know, she goes to Best Buy. And like she, instead of Blockbuster, the company like would send her all the new releases. She just does it herself.
So you got a lot of shopping carts.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, our Blockbuster is now a Dunkin' Donuts. So now when I go to get my mocha latte, I'll like roll up to the window and I'll get my mocha latte and I'll pay him and I'll be like, I miss you Blockbuster. And then the lady was like, "What do you say?" I was like, "I'm just nothing."
No, don't worry about
so
it.
I'd be like, I miss you, Blockbuster.
Well, that's the thing.
So I always remember to pay tribute to Blockbuster when I'm drinking my mocha latte.
I think that's interesting too, because now you say that, every time I pass places that Blockbuster used to be, I always think, oh, that was a Blockbuster.
Yeah, it's like you're driving, that was a Blockbuster.
That was a Blockbuster.
That was a Blockbuster.
So, I mean, it's cool to
That used to
just
be a Blockbuster.
look about it. I have a Blockbuster shirt. It's like one of my favorite shirts. I just think it's cool. I know there was a funny thing I saw on Twitter a while back where it was like a Blockbuster membership card, and it was in the dirt, and it was like, I found a fossil.
That's actually hilarious.
So it's pretty cool.
They did video games too for Blockbuster.
Yeah, I mean, Blockbuster was trying to make those changes, right? It was like video games. They did what Netflix did, where they did the shipping to like your home. But they tried to compete with Netflix, and then they had the opportunity, and they just said no. They didn't really think it was worth it. Netflix then murdered them.
And now picking a movie just creates arguments now. It's like me and my girlfriend sit down and watch Netflix. Oh, we're going to sit here for another hour while you flip through the channel? But then instead of that, me flipping through the channel by myself, we can make my voice. I'm kind of excited. Instead of me flipping through the channel myself and you don't really care and I'm looking at the movies, we can go make a little night trip out of it. We get together, we get in the car, we go to Blockbuster, hit some snacks on the way home, and I miss it.
That's the world. I think the world in general, how it just switched, where it was like, you know, we used to enjoy that downtime of going to Blockbuster and like the thrill of just deciding, where now it's just a hassle and you want it done immediately.
Unreal. But Miss Blockbuster, RIP. I'll be at Dunkin' soon, so I'll pay my respects to you, Blockbuster, in a couple of days.
Next segment, Ryan, what do we got? We're going to sports, baby.
So we got to talk sports every show, and we got to talk some conspiracy theories. So what do? We combined it both. It's another word for a mixer, all right? Not a frat party, but it's a mixer of conspiracy theories and sports. So we have two of them, some of the most infamous NBA conspiracies specifically. So the first conspiracy, not my conspiracy, but I mean the public. The NBA rigged the 1985 NBA draft for the New York Knicks to get Patrick Ewing. Now, this is up there. It might be number 1 and 2 in conspiracy theories for the NBA. So the NBA was at a time where it was struggling with viewership, and the New York Knicks is a big market, right, Paul?
Yeah, exactly.
So New York is a big market, Philadelphia is a big market, Chicago's a pretty big market.
LA, stuff like that.
And the Knicks sucked. So Patrick Ewing was he's one of the better prospects to come out of college. Like, this guy can actually change an organization, change a franchise, create revenue for that said franchise.
Especially NBA and stuff, right? Like, one guy can really change that team.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not like football where like one guy can actually change the face of an organization. So there's a conspiracy theory that David Stern, the commissioner of the NBA, rigged the NBA draft lottery. So they had the draft lottery with envelopes. So they would pull the envelope out, and whoever's name it was who would get first pick. So there's a conspiracy theory that the guy who was putting the envelope in bent one of the corners of the envelope so that David Stern knew which envelope was for the Knicks. And there's also another theory where someone said they froze the one envelope that was the Knicks. So when David Stern was feeling around in the lottery ball, that he would feel that it was a little colder than the other and pull it out. So, I mean, I watched the video, and you can't really see anybody. It's hard to bend a corner when beforehand. You know, like as you're throwing it in, it's hard to just bend to one corner. So like, do you believe this, Paul, where they either froze the envelope of the Knicks or they bent to one corner so that Dave and Stern knew which one the Knicks was?
I watched the video, and I think it's interesting that like it does. I mean, everything makes sense. That's what's funny about it, where you go, okay, like this makes sense. And we talked about it before of how like sports teams and refs and like, you know, at the end of the day, the NBA, the NHL, the NFL, like they're businesses, right? And
they want money.
They want to make money, and this makes sense. So
like they want Patrick Ewing to go to the Knicks, so it makes sense why they would do it.
So it's like, okay, but the video, you know, David Stern, like it looks okay. It does look like it is bent a little bit. So you say, okay, like what's the distinguishing factor from that envelope?
Someone was saying like, if they were going to bend the envelope, why wouldn't they just bend it in backstage before bringing them out, instead of just trying to bend it while throwing it in? I mean, I watched the video. It doesn't seem like it's the case. But the whole like theory behind it, and that the Knicks need a superstar. NBA loves money, and money drives the world. Patrick Ewing went to the Knicks, and then they make a lot more money in a bigger market, and everybody wins. But it's conspiracy theory. The frozen envelope hasn't been like clarified for any reasons. Like no one's ever said like, oh, it wasn't. But I don't really believe it though.
No, you don't.
After watching the like I'm just like back and forth with this thing, because it is so interesting, and because I'm watching this or listening to this podcast Whistleblower about Tim Donaghy and how he rigged games in sports betting, which Paul's going to bring up our next conspiracy theory or our last one.
Yep.
And it really makes me speculate, especially things with this. I'm not a big conspiracy guy, but I'll listen. I'll look into it, and it's interesting as hell, so why not bring it up and talk about it? So who knows? Do you believe the Knicks got the number one pick because the NBA is rigged and rigged the lottery? Who knows? Let us know in the comments.
You never know, but the world is a mysterious place, and there's a lot of things we don't know that sure as hell happened.
That's very true. All right, what's the next or our last one, Paul? It's the NBA Game 6 little referee controversy with Tim Donaghy.
Yeah, so we talked about Tim Donaghy on the show before, a ref who was in the NBA who was like rigging games for his own self-benefit, right?
Right.
And this theory is about the NBA. They actually rigged Game 6 of the 2002 Western Conference Finals with the Los Angeles Lakers and
the Kings. So it was like Chris Webber and Mike Bibby and the Kings. So you can go ahead and explain it to them. Go ahead. I'll just let you go.
Okay, so this is what happened. So Game 6, the Lakers trailed the Kings 3-2 in the series and were tied heading into the fourth quarter of Game 6. The Lakers' last shots were 27 free throws in the fourth quarter, and they scored 16 out of the last 18 points at the free throw line to win by 4 points.
That's crazy. That's
so
like, you could tell that's. You go ahead.
Yeah, so like you can tell it's kind of weird because like what's, you know, the refs, you know, control the fouls and control who goes to the free throw line and can control that. Like that's something that the refs can really control. So when you look at it from that perspective, you're like, okay, like if that's how you're scoring points and that can be controlled by the refs, was this kind of played? Like was this?
So this is where it gets nice and juicy and dirty. So the Kings were up 3-2 and they lost that game because of I mean, there's highlights of it on YouTube. I watched it. And you can see how blatantly these fouls are. There's one of Mike Bibby where Kobe Bryant elbows him in the face and they call it on Mike Bibby and don't call a charge on Kobe Bryant. And there's a point where the Kings coach is literally laughing on the sideline because he's done arguing. Like, he can't argue anymore. Like, he sees that the refs are literally rigging this game and he can't do nothing about it. So there's clips of these players who are losing an NBA game in the playoffs. They're laughing it off. There's nothing we could do. Three of their players fouled out. And the backstory is that Tim Donaghy, as we talked about, rigged these games, but he actually didn't ref the game. The ref of the game was Dick Bavetta, who at the time was the number one ref. But he was only the number one ref because the NBA loved him because basically he did what they wanted him to do. So in the podcast Whistleblower, they talk about how Dick Bavetta and the refs, they get paid based off of how many NBA playoff games there are. So if there's a 7-game series,
they get paid.
They'll get paid as if the series continues to go on and more games go on.
Got it.
So if there's a Game 7, the TV makes extra money. The refs get paid more. So apparently Dick Bavetta, if you look back and go look at his stats, he refed almost every 6 game that he refed, there was a Game 7.
That's insane.
It's
and you think no, well, so that's really interesting, right? So I didn't think about it like that. But every game, right, that the league makes more money if it goes to 7 games. You're selling more tickets, which is, with more jobs in the arena and more snacks and more concessions. And the players probably get paid more too. Don't they get like paid bonuses per playoff games, right? So it's like stuff like that. And
and this one's also another crazy point is because the Kings they're not fan favorites. Sacramento. We're talking about media markets. Yeah. They're playing the Lakers and Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. So don't you think that they would rather have the Lakers in the NBA Finals?
From a money perspective, it doesn't make any sense for the Kings to be in there, right? And wait, isn't this right around the time where the Lakers were their three-peat? When was this?
It might be. I don't know exactly, but
especially with Kobe and Shaq, right?
There's like a clip of Shaq who, he's talking to Chris Webber from on the broadcast on TNT or whatever, and something got brought up, and Chris Webber or Shaq was like, "Oh, you couldn't beat me in the playoffs," and then Chris Webber literally says, if it wasn't for those dirty refs. So it's like a known fact that this game is it's one of the most memorable games for being rigged.
It's in the history books as being this is a messed up game, right?
And it's crazy because Tim Donaghy, last thing I'll say on this, Tim Donaghy said that Dick Pavetta wasn't one of the better refs. He just manipulated games to get to game 7. So the NBA would always give Dick Pavetta NBA Finals games because they knew if they gave him the ref the games that they would go extended past game 5, game 6, game 7.
That's some shady shit right there.
Check out our podcast, obviously, if you're listening to this. And if you have some downtime after you watch all of our episodes, go check out Whistleblower. And it makes you really speculate. And it's really crazy how manipulative the NBA really is. And they're like, okay, what refs? So they wouldn't give you the job to ref NBA Finals unless they knew that you had a track history of extending series.
You were going to benefit if they put you on the job that they knew you were going to help benefit them, right? Them in the league.
So Dick Pavetta got all the NBA Finals series, all these years. He was always a ref in the NBA Finals. So now he's kind of setting the standard for other refs. That's why Tim Donaghy's like, if you wanted to ref in the NBA Finals, you had to follow Dick Pavetta and try to extend the series so that it would go game 7 so that everybody makes out in money. It's literally nuts.
Money rules the world. And
it really does.
The quicker you learn that, the quicker you'll do better in life.
And it's not even just sports. I mean, we talk. What's the dude with the island?
Mr. Beast?
No. The dude that molested girls.
I'm sorry, what?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay.
He's a prime example of that money rules the world. He had so much money that the FBI just shut up about him. It's if you have money, you can get away with so much shit in this world.
Well, yeah, you can pay police off if you're doing something illegal, or you pay people off.
I need some money.
We need money, bro.
All right, so that was it. And we're closing the show with hot takes. It's been a little minute for hot takes.
It has been,
but we're closing the show with hot takes. Paul, you gonna fire first or what?
Hot takes. I'm excited. Ryan was like, "All right, we're gonna do this again.
Bring it back.
What do you got?" And I was like, "I don't know. What do I want to talk about? Right? What do I want to talk about?" And I think that exploring what I want to do in life, especially with a job opportunity, job searching right now. I'm trying to find a full-time job. And then these, I have part-time jobs, and I have friends that talk about their part-time job, and just thing that blows my mind, especially in the modern world of America and working, right? So this is what I want.
What do you want?
I want to normalize not having to explain why you can't work to your boss when you request days off. So if I request a day off of work, why do I have to explain to you why I can't be there? I have a birthday party for my aunt, or maybe I just felt sick. It's why do I need to explain that to you? You're my part-time boss who I only work, I'm not getting paid that much. That what do I owe it to you to tell you? Just give me the day off.
I know you're saying part-time, but I think honestly it should carry over to a full-time job. I mean, people have their own problems, and it's nothing's as serious as it is.
Agreed.
I told my girlfriend the other day, and she was worried about doing she's at nursing school, and she was doing a food drive, and she had to go into a car with one of her friends, not one of her friends, a stranger, a guy in her nursing class, and they had to drop off food from different houses, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so nervous." It's just you're so nervous now, but once you do it, nothing's as serious as it is. So in this point, why do I have to explain to you what I'm doing with my life? It's not that serious where you should even know or even have to know. It's I'm out today. I'm using my day off. You don't have to know why. I'm out.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go sell drugs. I don't want to tell you that.
No, well,
today's my day to be a drug dealer. I'm taking off of work today. I shouldn't have to tell you that, you know.
so
I had to get drug dealer in there.
so yes,
And honestly, my story didn't even correlate with your hot take, too. I think about
no.
it.
But here's the thing too. Like this actually reminded me of a situation I had with school where I had to work. Like I was an RA, so I had a job at my university.
You had to sell drugs?
No, I did not there. But also like a day off of work, like a day off of school, right? And this was a couple years ago. This was for the Eagles Super Bowl parade. So I was like really back and forth, and this is what sucks. And like this should not happen. And I remember that like the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and it was kind of a once in a lifetime thing. They were having a Super Bowl parade.
It is a once in a lifetime thing.
Get out of here.
Definitely a once in a lifetime thing. Don't you agree, LeBron?
And
I agree.
and I had like, I took off of school. Like I skipped school that day. I had work, and I told them, hey, I can't work. And like some people were like, oh, that's so irresponsible of you. Like you can't be taking off these days to go have fun with your friends and like go drink. Like school's more important. And I said, honestly, it's not. I don't think one day taking off of work or taking off, of school for one day is like worth it. Like at the end of the day, like that's a memorable moment that I will remember for the rest of my life. I'll tell my kids about. Like it was an amazing day, and it's like a once in a lifetime event.
Life's not that serious.
It's not. Like you can go take off a day of work, and honestly, you don't have to explain to anybody. They don't need it.
I always think about this is probably another story that has nothing to do with your hot take. But I always think of this TikTok where like people are like worried about they're stressing about a test, or they're upset they got a bad grade on a test, or they couldn't do their homework. They had a long night, had to do a paper. And then there's like that TikTok of where we talk about on the show, just like it what's it called? Zooms out, and it's like the whole universe.
Yes,
it's like nothing's as big as what it is. I mean,
like
there's
how big you are, how big your state is, how big the country is, how big the world is in comparison to the rest of the planets and the solar system. And it's like, enjoy your life the way you can. Life isn't too serious all the time. You have one bad grade on a test. At the moment in time, you think it'll mean a lot. And I've been there. I've been super upset if I do bad on a test, or, maybe you get fired from your job because you're late, or like some shit. And it sucks in the moment, but at the end of the day, just enjoy your life. You'll get better. It'll get over. You're good.
Dude, I don't know if you saw this. I saw a dude got fired by Disney World.
I saw on TikTok, right?
Yeah. Because he was getting viral videos about. Well, first of all, he goes around the park drinking water out of like water fountains and I don't even like puddles. Like not puddles, but
the water fountains. He was doing like he was going into a water fountain, dipping his water bottle,
and
like,
right in the water.
It.
Yeah. First of all, that's disgusting. First of all, it's COVID-19 out here, but he got fired. And it's just like bosses. When people become bosses, I feel like they feel so authoritative, and just like, you're not that cool, dude.
I saw this thing too with TikTok where a lot of the teachers, if you're on TikTok, like a lot of teachers have these cool TikTok accounts, and it's like normalized teachers having a life outside their school.
Yeah, it's the fun police. Everyone who becomes a boss is the fun police. It's like, oh, you can't do this, do your work, blah, 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 blah. It's life. We live once. Go do fun shit. Dance and do hopscotch or TikToks while the kids are at lunch. It's just like, God, everybody's got tight buttholes nowadays. Like, let's freaking relax.
Yeah.
Especially bosses. Oh, I'm the boss. Get out of here.
As Ryan said, relax your butthole. That's what I got out of it.
Life's a party. Life's always a party.
Enjoy your life. What do you got here, Ryan?
Oh, no. I'm actually debating just skipping this because I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one. But I'm going to do it because I hate Eagles fans. All right, here we go. So my hot take is that Eagle fans... Let me restart. I said Eagle fans. Hot take of the day. Eagles fans ruin the song Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. Now I know that's your anthem. That's your Super Bowl anthem. Go Birds! Like, I get that. Every time I hear Go Birds, I think of that dude who walked up to the Vikings fans, and he's like, Go Birds!
I know exactly.
That's funny. I'll give the Eagles fans that. But here's my thing. It's like Dreams and Nightmares. I'm a big Meek Mill guy. I love Meek Mill. I love all his music. That's my guy. And I knew the words to Dreams and Nightmares. And I knew every single lyric. And it was like a cool thing to know every single lyric to the song in high school. But what happened was when the Eagles went on that run, everyone started playing it over and over again at parties, at tailgates. And next thing you know, Little Johnny's rapping Dreams and Nightmares. I don't feel so cool anymore. So the more people knew the song. I mean, it's good for Meek Mill. He wants everybody to know the song. He's a Philly guy. He's an Eagles fan. I get it.
Yeah, I agree.
But it made me feel a little less credible. Like, I didn't feel as cool. It's like once I was in high school, I was sipping on some Keystone, rapping Dreams of Nightmare.
You were the cool guy.
I was like an outcast. Like, I knew every word. And now all these Eagles fans, they make their run. Now everybody on the SEPTA knows it. Everybody in the link, everybody in Citizens Bank, like everybody knows it now. So now I'm just like not as cool. I'm a little upset.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I miss you, Blockbuster.
We missed the Blockbuster. But that has been our hot takes. Hopefully you enjoy listening to the show. As always, thank you for getting this far. We appreciate you guys. As always, doing some really cool things. Ryan and I have been talking about some future activities or ideas that we have, which we're excited about.
We're doing yoga.
We're
doing beer yoga together. We should do that, dude.
Doing a class online. We can do a class where we just drink and do yoga.
Okay, maybe not the yoga. I'll do the drink and you do the yoga.
Okay, sounds good. But thanks for listening to the show. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, if you haven't already, at Life's a Party Pod. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, follow or subscribe to the page so you know when a new episode comes out. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening, as always.
Music, take us out.
See you, Dave.
Later.